guys, we're over here at Ron Coleman again. It is Monday, November 13th. It's about 45-ish or so degrees, and it's about 8:30 in the morning. I always wear old, worn-out clothing whenever I go crystal mining anywhere, or rock counting for that matter, because you're going to get filthy. That's half the fun of doing it too. So my tools today, I brought a little cultivator tool. I don't know if I'm going to use it at all or not. I've got 2 picks. Let me get my GoPro off of there. Like this right here. It's got a pick on one end, kind of a cultivating tool on the other end. I've got 2 of those, so I can double fist it and just go at it with 2 hands. And then just a little shovel, about 2.5 feet long or so. Those are the only tools I'm going to be using today. You're not allowed to break off any kind of rocks or anything like that, any crystals off the rocks. You got to take the whole rock. It's part of the disclaimer or disclosure that you fill out at the beginning when you go to get your band. Crystal mining is kind of like an adult Easter egg hunt, so you don't really have to grow up in some ways, so you can still have some fun trying to find some buried treasure. All right, let's start digging and have some fun. All right, so after walking around and looking around for surface finds, the only thing I could really find was over here in this area. It seemed like there were a lot more there's a lot of big rocks, but there seems like there's some quartz plates as well. But all these rocks are easily a couple hundred pounds to 800 pounds, probably 1,500 pounds or so. I don't really want to move a bunch of big heavy things if I don't have to, but I've already moved this rock right here, so I'm going to try to dig out where it was sitting, because a lot of people don't like to move these big 300-pound rocks or so. But I do. I'm a bigger guy, so I'll do it, and that way I can get into spots that a lot of other people haven't already looked at yet. One of the things I like to do is bring a thick black trash bag. That way I can have something to sit on and it's not seeping through into my clothing and get me all dirty for when I go home. So I made myself a little seat. I'm just gonna dig out in this right here, scoop it up that away, and see if I can find anything down in that area. Okay, so I apologize. I probably dug for an hour and got a lot of really good pieces. And it wasn't until I checked the battery on my GoPro, I had a strap around my head, and it wasn't running. So I didn't record anything at all for an hour when I thought I hit the button. Basically I'm a doofus, so that's pretty much it. I can't make any other excuses other than I'm an idiot. So
could have done without that. Jeez, I'm an idiot.
So during that time when I thought my GoPro was working, they dumped a new load. This is my first find from that load. Here's what that piece looked like after I got it all cleaned up. This was my second find, which was really close to where I found the first one. Let's take a look at it all cleaned up. If I see something that looks like it has a crystal structure underneath a bunch of dirt, I almost always keep it. Sometimes they can turn out to be really nice, happy surprises. Check out this double terminated tabby quartz. It's perfectly flat on the bottom side, but on the other side it's loaded with all kinds of extra little attachments on there. It's really neat how this thing formed like that.
Well, I want to see.
I think it's just a big chunk. I saw that big, smooth, flat side. Yeah, that's a point. Here's what that piece looked like after I got it all cleaned up. I love that this piece is really big, but unfortunately it's got a lot of damage on it. Check out the tip on this thing, it's kind of rough. Here we go, Ron Coleman Crystal Mine. $27.50 for a day dig. You can pull out some really amazing pieces like this right here. Whew. Man, that's gorgeous. All right, so we moved some large rocks that were right here that I'm using as a seat right now, and underneath it we've been finding all kinds of big points. Check that out. forward to cleaning that up when we get home. See how that turned out. Isn't that beautiful? So here's how this one turned out after I got it all cleaned up. The crystals went deeper down into the quartz than I originally thought. I didn't know it, but there was actually a pocket on the bottom side of it too. Let me get that out of the shade a little bit. Ron Coleman Crystal Mine right there. Been moving a lot of really large rocks around here, and moving around. I have worked this pile pretty much all day, and I have found some really good stuff out of it so far. I'm pretty happy with the stuff I've got. I started off digging over here this morning, then I dug over there, dug out a spot, got that big rock pushed over, dug over here, and now I'm going to dig over there. People have already dug over there, but they only dug down about like 6 to 12 inches or so, and I'm going to dig down deeper and to see if there's anything farther down below than what they've already dug. Well, it's about 2 o'clock. I've had a lot of fun out here so far today. Found some really good stuff. I'll show you a few highlights when I get home. I'll clean some of these things up. It's a bit of a drop all the way down there. Again, that's what I like to call an as you wish hill. As you wish. Excellent clarity. That's one thing about Ron Coleman, is he always going to have some really good clarity for the most part. It's a little beat up looking, but I do love that clarity on this piece. From what I could tell, this one right here is going to be a double terminated. Got the point on that side, and looks terminated on that side as well. Just pulled it right out of there. Looks like it's going to be a little milky. A little bit of clarity on this end right here. That's okay. I'll still keep it. Really nice point. Okay, haven't pulled it out of the ground yet. Here we go. Got a nice point on it, nice tip. Looks like there's a key on the back, maybe a little bit of damage. Beautiful piece. Some of the edges on that tip do have some damage on there, but overall it's a very nice piece. I really like it a lot. So this short clip will give you a pretty accurate idea of about what 90% of my digging experiences are always like. I pick up countless rock after rock after rock, discarding just about all of them. I'll give them a quick inspection. If I see something, great. Otherwise, I just wind up pitching it. Sometimes you can go an hour or so without finding anything. That's why I like to edit these videos down to just the highlights. The main reason why we come to these mines is to find some beautiful crystals. But to get those beautiful crystals, we often have to do a lot of work to get to them. By the end of the day, your back hurts and just about everything else is sore too. It's still a lot of fun along the way though. Still, I'd rather do this any day of the week rather than staying home and washing dishes. I also edit out all the times I hurt myself too, whether I get hit with a rock or mash my fingers. Ouch. Get rid of my patella. Oh, mama! Oh, Alright, so let's get back to the dig and less of the behind the scenes stuff. So what are your thoughts? Is this one worth keeping? If you said yes, then you are correct. It's got a little damage on some of it, but overall I'm really happy I decided to go ahead and take this one home. Put some dirt back over top of that. Protect those points. It's about 3:45. Got a little grand finale here. I pulled some nice pieces today. I haven't been able to get it all on video, but should have some good stuff to look at when we get back home though. My phone is filthy. It is covered in dirt. Well, digging time closes at 4 o'clock and it is 4:03 right now. So I'm going to go ahead and head on out. Let's go home, clean a few of these things up and take a look at them, see how they turned out. So here's a look at my cart before I head back home. I've got some big giant rocks. Check out these crystals on there. Got a couple of really good points on there. I got this one right here underneath my lunch pail. I've got rocks down there. This one right here is about halfway full, bunch of rocks down there, rocks in there, and same thing with this one here. So I've got, and I believe I got a couple of clusters underneath there too. So I've got a good amount of stuff. So here's a quick look at yesterday's finds. Some of these, I don't know if they're going to be any good or not, but some of them have some pretty decent looking points on there. Some nice big chunky ones. So we'll wash these all off, see how they turned out. So this piece didn't quite turn out as nice as what I was hoping it would be. You don't truly know what these things are going to be like until you get them all cleaned up. Some of these right here, I wasn't sure if they'd be anything or not, but I saw a bunch of small points on some of these sides, so I thought, you know what, I could wash it off and take a look at it. If it turns out to be great, wonderful. If not, that's fine too. So I cleaned off this piece right here. You got all these different layers of crystal growing in here. Check that out. Basically about every side has little pockets with crystals in or on them. It's a cool piece. Like flipping a pancake. Nice cluster right there. This one right here, I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out, if it's going to be anything or not. We'll see. I don't know if there's anything else on this rock or if it's just one point over here at the edge. So this is another one of those that kind of turned out to be a disappointment. That's okay though. Sometimes you get some really happy accidents and sometimes you get a little bit let down. It's still all a lot of fun though. Here's some of my smaller finds from yesterday, but I still got a lot of nice big chunky points in here. Some good clarity on some of these things too. So I originally got this plate right here because I was able to make out these crystals right there, and that's a nice size crystal right there. It's got some damage on there, but after getting it washed off a little bit more, you're able to make out all kinds of little crystals all over the top side of this plate. Then when I flipped it over and got that rinsed off, I noticed there's a whole plate of crystals down here too on the bottom side. But for the most part, it's just this sandstone here in between with a cross section of a quartz vein, and right there a little bit right here, but I think it's all kind of on the top. It gets down there to sandstone. I'm half tempted to try to cut this thing here and through the middle. That way I've got a plate here and a plate over here of two different kinds of rocks. Well, I decided to go ahead and try to separate this thing out. I took that, made a line, and I'm currently trying to separate that out so I could have two different plates. I can have this plate facing up, and I can have this plate facing up. Well, I did it. I was able to split this rock right down the middle, and I've got this plate over here on this side and this plate over here on this side. All right, so let's highlight a few of the smaller finds now. This crystal has some damage, but I love the shape and the clarity of it. Here's a couple of the larger single points. The one on the left and the one on the right have a little bit more damage. They're all 3 keepers though. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. God bless.